Shankaran from IEEE. Failure mode effect analysis, okay, FMEA, is one of the very simple and the most effective, the risk management techniques, okay, for cybersecurity. FMEA was initially formed not for cybersecurity. In fact, when it actually cropped up, okay, the computer era did not even kickstart. Okay, it was used in the mechanical and the manufacturing units. Okay, but we adopted it, similar to Zachman's framework. Zachman's framework was not initially formed for the IT security, but we adopted it for IT security. Similarly, the FMEA aspect. Okay, a simple thing. Okay, it's a simple way of identifying or prioritizing your risk. Okay, which you want to deal first, which you don't want to deal next, etc. Okay, it's very simple way to approach. Okay, which we will actually see as a part of this particular video. Okay, so sharing my screen. Great. My sixth video on the risk management series with respect to CISSP. Subramaniam Shankaran, I'm from IEEE and Master Trainer for CISSP, CDPO, and CISO on ISO 27001. I'm slowly adding on the certificates. Okay, failure mode effect analysis. Adopted to prioritize. It's better to do it and see what exactly it is than to go through all the English. Occurrence, okay, the probability. Severity is actually the impact, and detection is the ability to identify the threats before they can actually occur. If you look at the cybersecurity arena, okay, the post-chain organization, you will have firewall, one more firewall to form the DMZ, or one more network-based intrusion detection prevention system to form a DMZ. You have antivirus, okay, you might have a SIM, okay, two antivirus, one for the workstation, the other one for the server, network-based antivirus, host-based antivirus, network-based intrusion detection prevention system, host-based intrusion detection and prevention system. Okay, you got a lot of controls actually available. Okay, having all these controls in place, how quick or how successful you are in detecting a particular the breach before it can become an incident. Okay, is exactly what the detection mechanism is. If you have a lot of controls and defense in depth, or otherwise called as a layered security, okay, so detecting it's most probably you'll be detecting most of the attempts. Okay, so let's say in the scale of 0 to 10, okay, in the example we are going to have not that much big scale, 0 to 10, I would say it's going to be the one you can easily detect it. It's not very tough. Okay, lower this particular value, that basically means that okay, there are higher chances that you will be in a position to higher then you'll be in a position to detect it. Occurrences 1, 2, 3, 4, very rare, unlikely, possible, frequent. Okay, so very rare, unlikely. So if it's going to be very frequent, then it's going to be 4, or very rare. Okay, it might or might not happen, but there's no possibility of not happening. Then it'll be very rare. Okay, and severity, the impact also is going to be a minor downtime. Then it is 1, moderate, 2, 3 is for major, and 4 is for critical. Okay, if it's going to impact only one particular user, it's minor. Okay, the few users, okay, it's going to be moderate. If it's going to be for a particular branch, okay, it's a major incident. For the complete organization, okay, it's going to be 4. Okay, I'm just looking at the perspective of a bank. Okay, because most of my experience are with actually the financial institutions. Detections, okay, there are high chances that you can detect it. Okay, there are moderate chances. Okay, if there are 10 incidents, you can detect almost all the 10. Moderate, okay, so you can detect 8. Okay, but it's going to be low. You can detect 4. Okay, very low means you can detect only 1 or 2. I'm leaving it to you for associating the metrics with the capability or with this particular rating. It is all subjective. Okay, what I am actually doing is something that I have experienced. Okay, you might have a better way of actually doing it. Okay, it comes with your experience. There's something of the risk prioritization number. Okay, so risk prioritization number is the product of occurrence, severity, and reduction. Okay, so you have to multiply occurrence, severity, and reduction. It will actually give you an RPN, and higher the RPN is what you will prioritize. It's called risk prioritization number, right? You will prioritize the risk treatment based on this particular number. You will have it as a part of a FMEA template, okay, which I'm going to show you a simple one from ASQ, okay, which I have just tampered here and there, okay, just to make it more generic, okay, because that what is actually there was a drill hole, okay. We are speaking about cybersecurity. You'll put in your detection, okay, and then your occurrence, your occurrence, severity, and detection, okay, in that particular Excel sheet. It'll give you a number. Then you will implement the risk mitigation strategy or risk treatment strategy, and then you have to calculate the occurrence, severity, and detection. The RPN should be lesser. than what it was before the implementation of the control. Key consideration, okay, it all depends upon the organization context. Okay, the entire security is context driven, right? What is very important for a beverage industry need not be important for a healthcare industry, which need not be important for a hospitality industry, which need not be important for a manufacturing, which need not be important for a BFSI. Everything is subjective. Okay, within the same vertical itself, okay, there are a lot of differences. There are banks, okay, that are more driven towards the services. There are banks that are more driven towards the business. Okay, and there are banks that focus only on the forex. There are banks that focus on loans. Okay, so every bank is actually. I know a bank, okay, which focuses only on the gold loan. I know a bank which focuses only on what is called as an let's say the forexes, foreign exchange. Okay, so every bank is actually different. So that means that though there are multiple verticals, within the verticals itself, there is going to be a problem. There's a difference. Integration, you can combine the FMEA with the NIST CSF or any of the cybersecurity frameworks, so ISO 27001, blah, 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 etc. Okay, continuous review should be there. What is the risk today? Okay, minor risk today could become a major risk tomorrow. Okay, I always say the risk identification must be done at least once a quarter. You cannot identify a risk and stay with it for your lifetime. Okay, no. Cybersecurity incident scenario, step one. Okay, first is assemble a team. Now, we are all from IT, right? IT and IT security. In my perception, something could be very important. But, IT and IT security are all supportive services. Okay, that means you need to speak to the business to get to know what is important for the business. Okay. In fact, I had a talk with one of the governance heads, the companies in Dubai. Okay. So when there is a question, okay, on what should be prioritized, okay, it's all aligned to the business objective. Okay, IT is a supporting service. Okay, IT cannot have a separate objective which is separate from the business objective. Okay, then the directions will be, the directions are different. Okay, the IT will not support the business that way. Okay, you need to have define the scope. Okay, and assemble a team. Okay, identify the failure modes. Okay, for example, okay, we are taking an example of an cyber security incident. An example is another unauthorized data access. Okay, let's assume that it's a customer database. You have got the cloud-based customer database. Failure mode is unauthorized data access. What could be the reason for a phishing attack, weak password, misconfigured access control, etc. Affects reputational damage. Okay, in fact, we had a video on what all could be the reputational damage for the organization. It's a non-tangible, okay, damage that can actually happen. Okay, so you cannot quantify that easily. Okay, there are three different methodologies for actually doing it. We discussed that on that particular video. You can revisit that video to get to know it. Financial laws and regulatory penalties. Okay, if at all you are into the GDPR or DPDP, UK GDPR, EU GDPR, okay, DPDP, etc., there could be a regulatory compliance. Okay, GDPR explicitly says that you need to pay 4% of your global GDP, or it's going to be your 20 million euros, whichever is higher. There are organizations that have been paid 1.2 billion euros also as a penalty. Okay, but when I was actually discussing with one of the data protection officers in UAE, he actually said the reason they are not able to do it because the cost of implementation is more than the penalty that is being paid. Okay. Anyway, risk assessment using what is called as an RPN number. So we discussed this. Okay, if the occurrence likelihood of the phishing attack, okay, 3 attempts, okay, out of the 4 will actually get through. And severity, okay, the reputational damage is also that's 4 out of 4. And detection mechanism, okay, 2 incidents out of 4 is actually detected. So 3 multiplied by 4 is 12, multiplied by 2 is equal to 24. So you will take an incident scenario, okay, and then you will calculate. Okay, if you want to know the incident scenario, MITRE attack framework, okay, gives you the possibility of defining all the scenarios and calculating the RPN for those scenarios. You can actually do it and get to know the RPN. Depending upon the value, you can prioritize the risk. Okay, what mitigation strategy? Okay, we all know what is the mitigation strategy. ATMA, avoid, transfer, mitigate, and accept. These are the 4 strategies that are actually available. Rescale is also one, but rescale is something that, it's going to be an high impact, very high probability. 1A, your objective will be to reduce to 5E, which is very low impact and very low probability. Okay, very high, medium, low, and very low. Okay, that's what I'm saying. The scale of 5, you can map it. Okay, so but if you're not able to eliminate the threat source, the biggest threat source for any organization are the employees. Okay, you cannot eliminate that. Okay, so you need to maintain it at 5E. Okay, with a lot of physical controls, administrative controls, and then technical controls. So you implement the corrective action. Okay, again you calculate the risk prioritization number. Okay, so it should be less than the 24. Okay, so occurrence should be less. Okay, and severity should can also be reduced. And detection mechanism, if you are going to put in extra control, okay, detection mechanism is going to increase. Okay, that means it'll lessen the numerical value for the detector. Okay, so RPN number will reduce. Ideally, when you are implementing a strategy, okay, you would adopt to a strategy to reduce the RPN number, reduce the risk impact. Okay, obviously, your RPN will also reduce. Okay, continuous monitoring should be there for the risk identification. I cannot say that I did a diabetic test, 6 months back or last year. I'm actually okay. No, that doesn't hold good. You have to continuously do it. I'm not saying every month. Okay, once in 3 or 4 months is something that you should do. Okay, not for the sugar test, for the risk identification. Okay, continuous monitoring should be there. It should be RMF. Okay, the new cyber security. It should be a part of enterprise risk management. ISO 31K is a beautiful standard for the enterprise risk management. And IT security, IT security risk management, and IT technology risk management. Okay, they both are a part of the enterprise risk management. Okay, every month you should sit for the ERM meeting, and then cyber security risk management review should happen at least once a fortnight. Okay, when you are coming for the ERM meeting, at least 2 meetings you should have had, at least one. Okay, at least one you should have actually had before you actually come for the ERM meeting. ERM meeting in some organization is called as a ORM meeting. Okay, so this on this FMEA. Okay, there's a template that I need to show you. This is an FMEA template. Okay, this is from asq.org. Some tweaking is what I have actually done. Okay, so process function, potential failure mode. Okay, the breach channel we said. Okay, effects of the failure, reputational damage, severity. Okay, so then you have occurrence, and you have detection mechanism. So sev multiplied by probability multiplied by detection gives you the RPN number. Recommended action. Okay, then you have an responsibility. Okay, who is the owner for this particular risk and the completion date. You can use this as a risk register. And actions taken, then you calculate the severity, occurrence, and detection. And RPN number should be less than what you have actually given here. That means your risk implementation or your risk treatment plan that you have adopted, okay, is one of the best one. Okay, anyway, this Subramaniam Shankaran, okay, from IEEE, you joined me for one of the best CISSP trainings, hand holding you for 3 months continuously until you are certified on CISSP. Thank you very much. You can mail us on training at IEEE.org or reach me on WhatsApp +91 99405 87544. Cheers, everybody.